Cyberpunk 2077 has been rated M by the MSRB for blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, strong language, strong sexual content, and the use of drugs and alcohol. Viewer discretion is advised.
I went through some things in the military myself, and I wasn't actually appreciative of them. I am not a combat veteran, but I was involved in a really horrible accident when I was in the Army. We were just doing regular vehicle maintenance on an armored tracked vehicle. This was an armored personnel carrier, not a tank, but the thing still weighed like 35 tons. And the job we were doing involved taking the track off of this vehicle so that we could basically clean the track, replace the bolts, make it all very safer, and you know what I mean. It's kind of like replacing the tires on a car. Okay, we were doing the equivalent of replacing the tires on a car to a 35-ton tracked vehicle. And anyway, the way it worked was we disconnected the track, and then and then everybody would step away, and then very slowly someone would move the track forward, thus unlimbering the track and allowing us to perform maintenance on the vehicle. And the guy who was I'm sorry, guys, this is still difficult. It's been 35 years and it's still difficult to talk about. The guy who, one of us had the job of getting in the track and just inching it forward very slowly. And so we disconnected the track, and we got it all loose, and we were about to step away so we could safely signal the driver when the vehicle, and remember, this is a 35-ton armored personnel carrier. The vehicle...
Thanks, V. Couldn't have been easy, but you handled it like a pro. Job done, contract closed.
Yeah, okay. What was I saying? The vehicle lunged forward. What basically happened was the controls had slipped out of the hands of the man that we had in the driver's compartment. And my friend Terry, who was my best friend in the world, I stood with him when he got married. I was his best man. His son is named after me. His son is also named Jack. He was a good guy, and I loved him like a brother. And Terry got knocked down when this thing, when the vehicle just kind of lunged, and it did. It lunged. It didn't. It was supposed to creep forward, and instead it went forward like 3 feet. And Terry got knocked down, and his legs were caught underneath the track, and they were pinched off as easy as you could rip a piece of paper. His legs were just gone. And my best friend in the world bled to death before any help could get to him. And there was nothing I could do about it. And I was right there holding on to his hand. And, he was screaming in agony as he died. And he died quick, but it was still far too long. So I know a lot about PTSD. Now, I did seek help for it. I sought help. I found help, and I'm no longer troubled by it. But I have to say that it still affects me because that was still my best friend in all the world. And that's not something you're ever going to forget, and it's not something you're ever going to get over. And I have had friends, don't worry about me. I've had friends that were just as close, but Terry was my first real friend as an adult. And and it just got to me for a while because I had to watch him die. So the fact that, I talked down a guy with PTSD, and he still killed himself. That kind of got to me, bud. That got to give me just a moment. I'm gonna mute my mic real quick. Okay, guys, I'm back. I stood up, kind of splashed some water in my face, wiped my eyes out, and so let's continue playing. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for listening to my ramble about times long past. It was when I was a kid. I was 19. I was an adult, but you know what I mean. Okay, this is a crime in progress. Let's go ahead and hit breach protocol on these people. 1C, 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 5-5. 1C, 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 5-5. That'll do both. Reduces the quick hack cost and hits massive vulnerabilities. Okay, and then I want to snipe the crap out of these people. Tigers fight? Do tigers go boom when you hit them with a shotgun? Yes, they do.
And you're fucked.
Am I? So far, it's 3-0, bud. Four to nothing. All right. So yeah, that's that taken care of. Let's see, where would the bodies go? Here's one. Oh, hey, I leveled. Cool. Is that all they got? Okay, where's the other one over here that I blew the arm off of? Oh, I also blew a leg off of her. Wow, she's a stump. Man, the shotguns are no joking matter here. I blew off her arms. I joked that she was a stump. She really is a stump. Hold on a second. Where can I hide her? This got trunk space? No. Okay. I know these two rice rockets don't have trunk space either. Oh man, you're bleeding all over me. Okay, dump the body. Reminds me a bit of a really tasteless joke. What position does a legless and armless man play when he plays baseball? First base. Ba-dum-bum. Literally first. Never mind. It's if I have to explain it, it's not funny. .14 street cred. All right. For anyone who was wondering, since you know that I'm always having songs run through my head. What's running through my head right now is The Wait by the band. That's for those of you who are unfamiliar, that's the actual name of the band, The Band. You see, they started off as the backup band for Bob Dylan. And when Bob Dylan went literally solo, at first he had a backup band, he had a drummer, he had other guitarists and things like that, Levon Helm and Robbie Robertson and the rest of the guys. And they called them, and when he introduced them, it was, hi, I'm Bob Dylan and this is the band. So when Bob Dylan basically said, hey, look, guys, I'm going to go my own way. You guys, are fantastic, though. You should stick together. They did. And they just called themselves the band, since that's what they were calling themselves all along. So, it's a thing. Anyway, what was I about to say? Oh, yeah, so, the band. And earlier today, I was watching what may well be the greatest concert film in the history of concert films, and that's The Last Waltz. You see, when the band finally broke up, rather than having this big public fight, what they decided to do about it was basically throw a party, decide they were going to do a concert, invited a bunch of their friends over to help out, and then played a bunch of music, which to me is the most rock and roll thing you could possibly do. And the musicians that they invited to help out, it's like a who's who of musical legends, because it's like, Emmylou Harris and Bob Dylan and the Staple Singers and a bunch of the greatest musicians ever. And if you ever get a chance, and of course this movie was directed by Martin Scorsese of all people, Scarface, and every Robert De Niro film ever made. That Martin Scorsese. And he this was one of his early films, and it was all about how the band broke up by throwing a huge concert. It was very cool. Very, very cool. Anyway, but that's why I've got The Wait in my head, because you've never heard the song The Wait. You may be familiar with it. The opening line is, what was it? Now I can't remember the words. It's in my head now, and I can't remember the words, because it's no longer, now that I'm talking about it, it's no longer in my head. I pulled into Nazareth, was feeling about half past dead. That one. That song. Take a load off, Fanny, and put the load right on me. That song.